So hi everyone. Today we are going to start the next session, which is the Raoult's law. So in the last session we already completed up to the Henry's law. So in this particular solutions chapter, these are the topics you have to study. So what that is the Henry's law, Raoult's law, ideal solution, non-ideal solution, and the fractional distillation. The next one, azeotropic mixtures and the partial miscible liquids. So let us understand one by one. So yesterday we completed up to Henry's law. So the next one, which is Raoult's law. So to understand the Raoult's law, so first of all we need to understand the terms in the Raoult's law. So before the Raoult's law, I want to explain about the two terms, which are vapor pressure, and the another one is mole fraction. So you need to understand these two things, then you can easily understand the Raoult's law. So let us understand what is vapor pressure and what is mole fraction. So see here. So in the So this is the Henry's law, that is we already completed in the last session. That is the vapor pressure of gas is directly proportional with the solubility of gas. So this we have already studied in the last session. Now today we are going to start with this liquid mixtures. So see here. So first, so liquid mixture. So in the last session I told you about the solutions. In that solution, particularly we are taking two types of solution. So that is, so I will show you exactly that. So see this table. Okay, see here. So I already told you that there are two particular solutions we have to study in this session. The first one, which is the gas which is dissolved in liquid, and the second case, which is liquid which is dissolved in again liquid. So we don't want all these things. So we'll discuss only two solutions, only two types of solution. The first one, which is gas is dissolved in the liquid, and the second case, which is liquid is dissolving in liquid phase. So we'll understand only these two solutions. The Henry's law, which comes under the gas in a liquid, but now Raoult's law, which comes under the liquid in liquid. So let us understand the solutions which are liquid and liquid. So remaining are not that much important. We'll discuss only these two things: gas which is dissolved in a liquid and the liquid which is dissolved in liquid. So let us understand here. So see here. So liquid mixtures. So what are the liquid mixtures? So the liquid mixtures are classified generally into three types. So what are the three types? The first one, miscible liquids, and the partial miscible liquids. So actually this is not partial, this is partial miscible liquid. Partial miscible liquid. So the third one, which is immiscible liquids. So what is the difference between all these three here? So miscible, what is actually called the miscibility? Miscible. So what is actual miscible? Miscible is nothing but the dissolving nature. So let us take one of the best example. So see here the methanol and water. So I will take the simple example, that is NaCl, which is dissolves in water. So you can take a beaker and you can add some water, that is, let us take a 50 ml of water, or you can add some 2 grams or 3 grams of NaCl. So whatever may be, definitely you know that this sodium chloride, it can easily dissolve in a water, because it both are polar in nature, so both are ionic in nature. So generally they can easily dissolve in water. So you can take sugar also, it can easily dissolve in water. So what happens? So this particular sodium chloride is a solid. So this is a solid, and this water which is liquid. So now before we are adding the sodium chloride in the water molecule, first the sodium chloride, which is a salt, and water, which is a liquid. That means two phases are there, one is solid phase and another one which is liquid phase. But whenever you are combining both in a beaker with 50 ml of water and 2 or 3 grams of sodium chloride, what happens? The sodium chloride, it can easily dissolve in a water molecule, and it will make a clear solution. So you will get a clear solution. So that means clear solution, you will get only one phase, that is liquid phase. That means the solid NaCl, which is completely miscible in the water molecule. So here miscible is nothing but completely soluble. So whatever the sodium chloride that can easily dissolve in the water molecule. So it means that the miscible is nothing but the complete dissolution of a solute is called the miscible nature. So here the salt is completely miscible in the water molecule. You can take the sugar also, that can also completely soluble in the water molecule. But here we have to discuss only the liquid mixtures. So liquid mixture means the salt and sugar both are actually the solid. So that means solids dissolves in the liquid. So we don't want that solids. So we need actually the liquid mixtures. So that means the solute must be liquid and also the solvent must be liquid. So solute must be liquid and the solvent must be liquid. So that means you can consider this methanol, phenol and benzene. You know the methanol, alcohol. So this methanol liquid easily dissolves in a water molecule. Both are liquids. They are completely dissolved. So whenever we are taking these two, we are combining these two liquids. So you will get a homogeneous clear solution. That is one of the classification which is miscible liquids. And the second case which is partial miscible liquid. So partial, that means so it is dissolves only the partially. That means it cannot completely dissolve, but it will dissolve only up to certain extent. That means so complete solute it cannot dissolve in a solvent, but sometimes it may be dissolved only just 1 or 2 grams. So you can take the example which is phenol and water. So phenol is somewhat it can dissolve in a water molecule, partial miscible liquid. So this is partial miscible liquid. And the third case which is immiscible liquid. Immiscible means it is completely not dissolves in a solvent. So that means benzene and water. You can take petrol and the water molecule, ether and water. So that you will get a oil in water. So oil in water also you can consider. So water and oil. So water and oil both are they will form two layers like this. So it will make it two layers as a heterogeneous mixture. So you can directly say that the miscible liquids are homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous because it is methanol which is completely dissolves in a water molecule. So you will get a clear solution, that is a homogeneous. Homo means nothing but same phase. The liquid phase is there. Immiscible means completely two layers. It cannot dissolve even 1%. So that means the benzene it cannot dissolve in a water molecule. So you will get a two layers. One layer which is upper layer and below the lower layer. And that means here two separate layers are there. That means it will form the heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture. But what about the partial miscible liquids? So partial miscible liquids are also the heterogeneous because completely the phenol which cannot completely dissolve in a water molecule. So partial means somewhat only it is dissolved in a water molecule. So in this session we will discuss the miscible liquids. So in that miscible liquids generally the Raoults will the Raoults actually it is there in the miscible liquids. So we will understand this law. So see here the miscible liquids. So let us start with the miscible liquids and then partial miscible liquids and then immiscible liquids. So let us start with this miscible liquids first. So what are the miscible liquids? So this is one of the example which is methanol plus water. So now we will discuss the terms in the miscible liquids. So before discussing the Raoult's law, you have to understand the two terms which is vapor pressure and the mole fraction. So see here mole fraction. So let us start with this pressure. So let us start with the vapor pressure. So what is actually the vapor pressure? Vapor pressure. So what is actually the vapor pressure? So vapor pressure means what? So you know that the pressure. So let us take a solution. So I will take a solution. So I will take a solution like this. And this is a liquid. So let us take I will take the liquid which is water. So simply I will take water. You know that by heating or through boiling the water molecule, it can easily evaporate. So whenever it is evaporating, so it will release the vapors. So the pressures over this liquid surface is called the vapor pressure. Vapor pressure. So here vapor pressure is nothing but whatever the pressure which is exerted on the liquid surface or above the liquid surface, so it is called the vapor pressure. But you must, there must be a condition you have to understood here, that so the whatever the vessel, whatever the container you are using, it must be closed, it must be closed. That means, so see here, so let us take two cases. So this is the case where the lid is not there, but here there is a lid is there. That means the closed container, and it is an open container. And you can take the water molecule here, here also the water molecule. And you are heating this particular water, and here also heating. So what happens? So after some time, whenever it reaches to 100 degrees Celsius, because the water has a boiling point which is 100 degrees Celsius. So what happens? So due to the evaporation, so it will release vapors. You know that the vapors will be easily formed at the above the liquid surface. So here also the vapors will be produced at above 100 degrees Celsius. So because 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point of the water molecule. So what happens if it is an open container? Definitely these vapors will escape. So definitely the vapors will escape because they are the gaseous phase. They can easily escape from the surface. So that means there is no vapor pressure at that particular open container. But you can take the closed container. So whatever this particular layers, the vapors, so they are not escaping from the liquid surface because it is a closed container. So definitely the vapors, they must condense again to form again liquid phase. So what happens with the open container and closed container? So if it is an open container, definitely there is no vapor pressure. So whatever we are studying the vapor pressure is not applicable in the open container because there is no pressure exerted, because the vapors are not there. Vapors are completely escaped from the whatever the container. So they will go into the atmosphere if you open the lid. But in case of closed container, what happens? So the vapors, whatever will be, they will go upward. And what happens after some time? The vapors will be again condensed to form again liquid. So you know that is very classic example. So you can take the water, you can take simply the water. You can take a vessel and boil, and you have to use a lid on the upper surface. So when you are taking a closed container, so you are taking a closed container. So I'm taking a closed container. So see here. So I'm taking a closed container here, and the water molecules, so the vapors will be easily escaped. So see here. So it is a closed container. What happened? So after some time, so these whatever the vapors which are produced here, definitely after some time, again they will go and they will come downward by the condensation process. So what is the condensation? So condensation is nothing but, so in the evaporation process, what happens? The liquid is changing into the gaseous phase. So the process which is called evaporation. And you can take the gas again is converted into liquid. So the process which is called the condensation. So here the gaseous molecules, the vapors will be again, they will condense to give again the liquid. So there the pressure which is obtained here, whatever the vapors, the pressure here obtained with this vapors is called the vapor pressure. So vapor pressure. So you must understand that vapor pressure is only it will exist in the closed container. Open container, it definitely it will not have any vapor pressure. Only the closed container will have the vapor pressure. So see here. So let us take some example so you can easily understand. So I will take a substance which is A. A is a substance. So this is a closed container, and A is there till here. So the liquid which is A is there. So this particular A is there. So on heating, so see here, on heating, what happens? So it will form layer, it will form the vapors like this. So the pressure on this particular liquid surface, above the liquid surface, which is called the vapor pressure. So you have to understood that I'm only telling you the way surface of the above the liquid surface. So see here, the liquid surface. So let us take the molecules like this. So these are the molecules, they are the surface molecules. So let us take the other molecules, which are bulk molecules. So see here. So what is the difference between the surface molecules and the bulk molecules? So here these particular molecules are called the surface molecules, and these are called the inner molecules, which are bulk molecules. So what is the difference between these two? So first, surface molecule. What is a surface molecule? Surface, they are upper, they are down, they are upside of the liquid. So what is the major difference between this surface and bulk? So see here. So during the evaporation, what happens? So definitely, so when you are heating this particular liquid, so that means we are supplying the heat energy. So heat energy, it must be accepted by the liquid. So what happens when you are supplying the heat energy? So after some time, the energy will be accepted by this molecule, so that the kinetic energy of these molecules will increases, and this particular molecules, they will start to evaporate. That means vapors will be formed here. So vapors will be produced here, which means that the vapors are only produced with the surface molecule. So we cannot get the vapors of the bulk molecules. So the bulk molecules are inside of the container. So due to the bulk molecules, we cannot get the vapors. So vapors are only obtained with the surface molecule. అంటే ఏవైతే పైన ఉన్నాయో పైన మాత్రమే మనకు వేపర్స్ ఇస్తాయి. నన్ను కింద ఉన్నాయి కిందనే ఉంటాయి. సో అవి ఏం వేపర్స్ ఇచ్చేటివి అంతా పైన ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి మాత్రమే ఇస్తాయి. నన్ను సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్? Because the surface molecules are having two reasons. So see here, the first reason, which is force of attraction. So see here, what is the force of attraction? So see here, so it is a surface. So let us take the surface molecules. So these are the surface molecule, and definitely it is a closed container, then only the vapors will be produced. And let us take again the inner molecule. So see here, so I'm told, so see here, so these are the vapors. So these are the vapors produced by the surface molecule. So see here, so here I'm telling you that the surface molecule, they can easily evaporate. So the bulk molecule, these are called the bulk molecules, they cannot evaporate. So here the vapors are produced only with the surface molecule when you are heating this particular mixture. So what happens here? What is the reason actually? So these for surface molecules, generally the surface molecules, they are having more kinetic energy. And the second one, which is the surface molecules, which are having very less force of attraction. So what actually it means? So generally every molecule will have the attraction with the other molecule. So let us take this particular molecule. So it is having certain amount of attraction with this molecule, this one, and this one. So this bulk molecule, so it is having a certain force of attraction with all other molecule. But in case of this surface molecule, so it is having the only attraction with the downside molecules. So see here, so this you can take any one. So I will take this particular one. So see here, so I will take only one. So I will take only one. So see here, so let us take this particular surface molecule. So see here, so I will take that particular only one molecule. So it is having the interaction with this one, and this one. So see here, the interaction only with this one. So but in case of this bulk molecule, it is having an interaction from the all sides. So see here, ఈ మాలిక్యూల్ తీసుకుంటుంది, ఈ మాలిక్యూల్ తీసుకుంటుంది, ఈ మాలిక్యూల్, ఎవ్రీ మాలిక్యూల్ విల్ అట్రాక్ట్స్ ద బల్క్ మాలిక్యూల్ సో దట్ ద బల్క్ మాలిక్యూల్ విల్ స్టేస్ ఎట్ రెస్ట్. అక్కడే ఉంటుంది మనం, పైకి పోదు. అర్థమవుతుంది కదా. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఈచ్ బల్క్ మాలిక్యూల్ జనరల్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ ద హై ఫోర్స్ ఆఫ్ అట్రాక్షన్ సో దట్ ద వేపర్స్ ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ ఇట్ ఫర్ ద బల్క్ మాలిక్యూల్, బట్ ద surface molecule they can easily produce their vapors because there is a less force of attraction, only one side is there, so definitely the molecules they can easily move, hence they are having, even though they are having more kinetic energy. So see here, the kinetic energy is nothing but the energy of motion here. So they are easily, they can easily move from that particular place, so they are having more kinetic energy and less force of attraction, so that they can easily escape. So the vapors it can be easily produced here. So the surface molecule they can easily evaporate comparing with the bulk molecule. So see here, so let us understand these things first. So the vapor pressure is nothing but, the vapor pressure is nothing but pressure exerted on the surface, only the above the liquid surface area, remember that. So only the above the liquid surface area in a closed container, so it must be closed container. If it is open, definitely the vapors will be escaped into the atmosphere, then definitely there is no vapor pressure. So see, this is the vapor pressure. So you have to understand the basic idea about the vapor pressure. So nothing but the pressure is nothing but the pressure is, every gas is having certain amount of pressure. So here the vapor pressure nothing but the vapors on the liquid surface, above the liquid surface, is called generally the vapor pressure in a closed container. So this is idea, this is the basic idea about the vapor pressure. And then we will see the mole fraction also. So mole fraction, what is mole fraction? So mole fraction, so see here, so what is mole fraction? Mole fraction, actually it is nothing but it is simply a concentration term. It is a concentration term, and the symbol for this which is like this. So it looks like X, but it is not X. Generally it is called the zeta. It is called zeta. So zeta is the symbol for the mole fraction. So it is not X, you have to write like this. So it is zeta, the mole fraction. So what is mole fraction? So mole fraction nothing but it is a concentration term. It is a concentration term. Nothing but, let us take one of the best example. So I will take one of the examples so you can easily understand the concentration which is mole fraction. So I will take the 2 grams of sugar, 2 grams of salt this one. So you can take the salt, 2 grams of salt, that is NaCl, in 50 ml of water, 50 ml of water molecule. So here I am taking 2 grams of NaCl and 50 ml of water molecule. I am adding in a beaker like this. So you will get a clear solution. Definitely you will get a clear solution. So now I need to explain this particular solution. So ఈ ఏదైతే మనం సొల్యూషన్ తీసుకున్నామో దాన్ని మనం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయాలని. సో ఏమని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాము అంటే, we can explain that 2 grams of salt which is dissolved in 50 ml of H2O. So we can explain like this. So not only this, we have to explain in other way, so that in a single word we have to explain in a simple way. So here the mole fraction is nothing but the mole fraction. So it is one of the concentration term. It will explain the concentration of a solution. So this particular solution is having solute as NaCl and water is a solvent molecule. So here the how many solutes are there in how many solvents are there. So the solute molecules are how many, and the solvent molecules, how many solute molecules and how many solvent molecules. So exactly the concentration of the solution that can be explained with the number of concentration terms. That is, you can consider the molarity, normality, mole fraction, weight by weight, volume by volume. There are many other concentration terms, but here we will discuss only mole fraction. Further in the next session we will discuss the molarity, normality, all those things. So let us see the mole fraction here. So mole fraction. So what is mole fraction? So mole fraction, it is actually indicated with this zeta. This is called zeta. So this zeta, it is equal to number of moles of solute, number of moles of solute by total number of solute plus solvent. So this is very, very simple. You can easily understand this. So I will take the best example. So see here. So let us take again the sodium chloride. Let us take 2 moles are there. So not only 2. So let us take it is 4 moles. So I will take the 4 moles of NaCl. So let us understand 4 moles of NaCl is there. And again 6 moles of water molecule is there. So here taking the concentration as 4 moles of NaCl and 6 moles of water molecule. Then total will be 10 moles. So what happens? So mole fraction is nothing but simply mathematically it is called simply percentage. So see here, what is the difference between the percentage and this mole fraction? Chemically it is called the mole fraction. So here the mole fraction, the zeta of NaCl is nothing but, so the number of moles of solute. So number of moles of NaCl, how many are there? 4. And the total number of moles. So total number of solute and the solvent. So solute will be 4 and the solvent will be 6 and total will be 4 by 10, that is 0.4. It is a mole fraction of NaCl. Then what is a mole fraction of water molecule? So you can also write the mole fraction of water here. So see here. So I'm taking 4 moles of NaCl, which is dissolved in 6 moles of H2O, and the total will be 10 moles. Total will be 10 moles. So see here. So I'm writing the mole fraction of NaCl, which is equal to 4 by 4 plus 6. That is 4 by 10. That is 0.4. And let us take again the mole fraction of H2O. There are 6 moles are there. By total moles, that is 4 plus 6, that is 6 by 10, and the total will be 0.6. So you will get the 0.6. So remember here the mole fraction is nothing but simply it is a percentage. Mathematically it is called the percentage. So see here the 0.4 is nothing but simply the 40%. So you can directly call it as a 40%. So here which is 60%. So you know that we are taking the 4 molecules of NaCl in 6 molecules of water. So you can directly say that it is a 40% and it is a total 60% and total will be 100%. So see here, that is very, very simple here. So the 4 NaCl and 6 water molecule. So 40% of NaCl is there and 60% of water molecule is there. So 40 by 100. So 40 by 100, 40%. Here the 60 by 100. So that you can get 0, 0 and again 0.6. Here also 0.4. So simply it is a percentage. So 40% or 60%. But chemically it is called the mole fraction. And always the mole fraction of A and mole fraction of B, that is equal to 1. So see here 0.4 plus 0.6. So 0.4 plus 0.6. Total you will get only 1 here. So always the mole fraction of solute and mole fraction of solvent, you will get only 1. So why? What is the reason actually? So simply mathematically you can easily understand. So see here, there are 2 compounds are there. One is A and another one is B. This is 40% and this is 60% and the total will be 100%. So if A is there, how many A molecules are there? Definitely it is a 40%, and B it is 60%. So B which is 60%, and total you will get the 100%. So see here. So here now in the chemically we are talking about the mole fraction. So you can take again the 40%. So 40% means you have to divide 40 with 100. So you will get 0.4. This is called the mole fraction. Chemically it is called mole fraction, but here 40 by 100, which is called the mathematically it is simply percentage. So this is maths and this is chemistry. There is no that much difference here. So here 40 by 100, which is 40%. Here 0.4, which is a chemically which is called the mole fraction. Here simply percentage here. So here the 0.4 again 0.6. So you will get only 1 which is 1. So even 100%, that means 100 by 100, you will get only 1 here. So both are simply same here. So mole fraction is nothing but simply the number of moles by total number of moles. I will take another example, so you can familiar with this mole fraction. So see here. So let us take the again two molecules. One is A and one is B. So let us take again A, which is 20 moles, and this is 40 moles. This is 40 moles. Then total will be 60 moles. So I will take the mole fraction of A, that is 20 by 60. The total will be 60. And again mole fraction of B, that is 40 by 60. So you can easily understand here 20 by 60. So 0 0 cancel, and which is 1 by 3. And here 0 0 and 2 2s are 2 3s are, that is here 2 by 3, which is mole fraction. So remember that mole fraction of A and mole fraction of B always 1. The value of mole fraction always in between 0 to 1. So the value of mole fraction, it will be only the value from 0 to 1. What is the reason actually is the 0 to 1? So you know that mathematically you can take A and B. Let us take it is 40 grams, it is 60 grams, and total will be 100 grams. So that means here 40% is there, and here 60% is there. So total 100% here. So 40 grams here, 40%, that means 40 by 100. So 40 by 100. So that means 0.4 here, 0.6 here, 100 by 100, that is 1. So here you need to understand here that. So 40 plus 60, 40 plus 60. So you are getting 100. Here 0.4 plus 0.6, that means you will get only 1. So remember that mole fraction of A and mole fraction of B, always you will get only 1 here. Simply mathematically it is called percentage, so that you can easily understand this. So this is a mole fraction, and this is very important concentration term. So we'll discuss the molarity, normality, all those things in the next lesson. So now we need to understand a particular law which is called the Raoult's law, which explains completely about the vapor pressure and the mole fraction. So what is the mole fraction? So you have to understand these two things, mole fraction and vapor pressure. So let us understand the Raoult's law. So what is actually the Raoult's law? So whatever we have taken, the Raoult's law. So let us understand here. So see here. So first, these miscible liquids. So in case of the miscible liquids, that is methanol and water. So generally we are talking about only the liquids. So first, liquids. So generally liquids, there are generally two types. So liquids generally there are two types are there. So one first classification, which is volatile, and the second one, which is non-volatile. So here volatile and a non-volatile are there. So what is the difference between the volatile and non-volatile? Volatile is nothing but whatever which is evaporating substance. So generally the liquids are generally two types. One is volatile and another one is non-volatile. So you can take water molecule. So water, it is somewhat, it is a volatile. Volatile is nothing but whatever the liquid which is, it must be ready to evaporate. So if it is producing the vapors, then it is called the volatile liquid. So water, definitely at boiling point at 100 degrees Celsius, the vapors will be produced. So definitely the water will be, generally it is volatile compound. And not only that, you can take simply ether. So you can take the best example, ether. So ether, so actually the boiling point of ether, which is very less, which is 19 to 21 degrees Celsius, that is, which is very less than room temperature. So it is highly volatile. Volatile is nothing but easily evaporate. So see here, volatile and non-volatile. You have to understand these two things, volatile and non-volatile liquids. So the volatile means which are easily evaporated substances. Easily evaporated. and here it is not easily evaporated, not easily evaporated. That means vapor will not produce it in the non-volatile, but here the volatile, that means vapors can be easily produced here. So the best example which is ether. So whatever the organic general liquids, they can be easily volatile. So non-volatile. So generally, if you take the, you can take the urea, sucrose. So they are non-volatile. So they cannot produce vapors. So but here ether, which is having the boiling point which is very less, that is 19 to 20 degrees Celsius, 21. So which is very less. So at the room temperature, generally this ether, it can easily escape into the atmosphere. So that means the vapors can be easily produced here. So that means the vapor pressure which is not equal to zero, but here the vapor pressure which is equal to zero. The major difference you have to understood that. So the volatile liquids are the vapor pressure. They are having certain amount of vapor pressure, but in case of non-volatile, they are having zero vapor pressure. They cannot produce a vapor. So vapor pressure which is zero here. So that is a volatile and a non-volatile. So you need to understand this. Volatile, easily evaporable. So if it is forming vapors, then it is called volatile. If it is not forming water vapors, then it is non-volatile. So see here. So let us understand with this. So now, so see here. So these are the miscible liquids. So see here. So in case of the miscible liquids, we are taking two compounds, that is methanol and water. So here the methanol and water, generally both are volatile in the nature. So they are generally volatile in nature. So you have to understood that. So first let us start with the volatile liquids, then it is a non-volatile liquids. So let us understand with this methanol and water. So miscible liquids. So we'll start with the miscible liquids. So miscible liquids, so the best example which is methanol and water. So see here. So I will take a methanol and water, that is, so that is CH3OH, that is methanol and water. So see here. So let us start with the volatile. If two volatile liquids are there, if two volatile liquids are there, so what happens? Two volatile liquids are there. One is, this is A and this is B. So A is a volatile and B is also volatile liquid. So you can take a beaker again, and here again, and here you will get the compound. So see here, this is a closed container, then only the vapor pressure will obtain here. So see here. So this is A, which is CH3OH, and these are the vapors. So these are the surface molecules. They can show our the methanol, the vapors. So you can take this as B, that is water molecule. These are the B, that is the water molecule. This is H2O. These are the vapors. So whatever maybe when we are adding, so I will show with another color so you can easily understand this. So this is A, the surface molecule A, and A. So A vapors are there, and then these are the B vapors. These are the B vapors, and this is the water molecule, the green color which is B vapors, and the blue color which is A. Again, you can take the final one which is A, B, A, B, A, like this. So see here, what is the difference between these three particular solutions? The first A which is there, here only A is there, that is simply methanol, CH3OH. So here you should understand that. So the vapors, so whatever the vapor produced here, they are the vapors of the methanol only. So here methanol is there, only methanol is there, but here only water is there. So here the vapors here produced here, it belongs to vapor pressure of this particular water, and here it belongs to methanol. But what about the vapors of this black? They are the vapor pressures of A and vapor pressure of B. So now I will ask you the question here. So vapor pressure of A and vapor pressure of B, which is exactly equal to A plus B, it is S or not. So you have to understand one thing, that here the vapor pressure of A, the first one methanol, which is A. So let us take it is A. So see here A and this B. So A, which is a vapor pressure of A, and B is a vapor pressure of B. So see here. So I'm writing in another way. So first the vapor pressure of A and the vapor pressure of B, which is equal to the vapor pressure of AB. It is yes or no. You have to understood these things. So vapor pressure of A and vapor pressure of B, when you are adding these two, then the vapor pressure obtained, the individual vapor pressures, which is equal to the vapor pressure of total solution. The total solution which is having the vapor pressure with AB. Now the question is, when you are adding this individual vapor pressure, then you will get exactly the equal vapor pressure with the solution or not. So you have to understood that. So why? Because he actually it is not correct, it is not equal. So why? What is the reason here? Here in case of this first case, the methanol is having the vapors with only A. So here pure methanol is there. Only methanol is there. Only methanol is there. But here only vapor is there. Only the surface molecule will evaporate. The surface of this methanol, they will evaporate, and you will get the vapor pressure which is A. And here the B, the vapor pressure B. But when you are adding this, so what happens? So some of the A molecules will go downwards, and B will some of the B molecules will go downward, and in the surface, so we will get A, B, A, B, A, B like this. So that means here on the surface, we will get A, B, A, B, A, B like this. So what actually the happened? So we are talking about the miscible liquids. Miscible ante enti ante complete ga dissolve అయ్యింది. AB మొత్తం కలిసిపోయినాయి ఉంది. సో AB కంప్లీట్ గా మొత్తం కంప్లీట్ గా కలిసిపోయినాయి. సో కంప్లీట్ డిజాల్వ్ అయినాయి. హెన్స్ వీఆర్ కాలింగ్ దెమ్ యాజ్ ఎ మిజబుల్ లిక్విడ్స్. సో హియర్ మిథనాల్ తీసుకున్నాం నాన్న. ఫస్ట్ కేసులో మిథనాల్ మాత్రమే ఉంది. సో ఏవైతే ప్రెజర్స్ ఉన్నాయో దీస్ ఆర్ ద వేపర్ ప్రెజర్ ఆఫ్ మిథనాల్. బట్ ద సెకండ్ హియర్ H2O, these are the vapors of the water molecules. So remember again, whatever the surface molecule, they are only responsible for the vapors. So vaporization is only with the surface molecule. Next, when you are combining both the liquids, methanol and water, so what happens? So we will get a certain vapor pressure. So see here what the difference between those two here. So the vapors here produced here, which is the individual vapor pressure, which is A and B. See here, so here the vapor pressure AB. So here four molecules are there, here four molecules of B are there. But here in case of this, so I will remove one thing. So see here, so see here, so here four molecules of the A is there, here four molecules of B are there, but here two molecules of A is there and two molecules of B is there. So that means the pressure here PA, let us take it is PA here, which is PA, this is exactly not equal, because here PA, which is with the four molecules, but here with only two molecules. That means this is very high comparing with this. So we will understand this. So here the vapor pressure is generally simply in a closed container, whatever the vapors produced on the liquid surface, above the liquid surface, is called the vapor pressure. But here you need to understand the pressure which is partial vapor pressure and pure vapor pressure. So vapor pressure again, so it is partial vapor pressure and pure vapor pressure. So that you should understand here. So see here, so closed container, closed container, and this is also closed container, and this is CH3OH, and this is H2O, and this is CH3OH plus H2O. When you are adding these two, and we will get, so see here, and this green which is methanol, I'm indicating with A here, A, 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 like this. So these are the vapors of this methanol. And here again, I will indicate with the blue, which is B, 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 B. So these are the vapors of this water molecule. And the next case again. So see here. So here now again, there is A. The surface will occupy A, and the next again. So after the A, the next again with B. So again A, again B. So that means the surface will occupy with A and B, because when we are adding the methanol and water, so you will get the surface with both the molecules A and B. So ikkada surface meeda A maatrame undi, methanol maatrame undi. So the A indicates the methanol and B indicates this water molecule. So ikkada methanol anedi maatrame undi surface meeda, ikkada surface meeda water undi, but ikkada surface meeda rendu undali, endukante both are miscible liquids. They are completely miscible liquids. So all the both methanol and water, they are volatile substances. Both are miscible liquids, so that they can easily produce their vapors. But in case of the methanol only, this is pure vapor pressure. So whatever we are the pressure, we can call it as a pure vapor pressure. Pure vapor pressure. So this is indicated with P. This is indicated with PA. I'm writing with PA. And this is also the pure vapor pressure. Only one is there. Only one is there. So this is PB. So this is PB and this is PA. But what about the vapors here? So the green. So these are the blue color vapor and B vapor pressure, and the green, which is A vapor pressure. So this A, the vapors obtained with this A, which is called P naught A. P naught A. And the blue color, which is PB. P naught B. So here this particular P naught A and P naught B, they are called the partial vapor pressures. Partial vapor pressure. So what is the difference between the partial and the pure? So here you have to understood that the PA, which is always greater than P naught A. Sorry. PA, which is less than P naught A, and you can take PB, which is less than P naught B. So you should understand these two relations. So here the PA and PB, they are called the PA and PB. So they are PA and PB. They are pure. They are pure. But here P naught means it is partial. So what is the difference between these two? Here the pure vapor pressure PA and PB are there. So here PA, which is always, so it is actually not less than, it is a greater than, sorry. It is a greater than. Wait. So I have only mistaken. So the generally pure is indicated with P naught. So pure is actually indicated with P naught. So this is actually correct, because they are the pure and it is also pure, and they are partial. It is partial vapor pressure and it is partial vapor pressure. So see here. So P naught, which is called the pure. So here actually we should write the symbols as P naught A and here P naught B, and here we should not write as 0. So we have to remove this P naught. So see here. So the pure is nothing but P naught. The symbol you have to use not P naught A, P naught B. So here the first case, the methanol, which is P naught A, and here P naught B, and here the obtained pressure, vapor pressures are PA and PB. So always remember that the PA, which is always less than with pure vapor pressure, because here you can easily see here. So there are 4 molecules are there. So see here, there are 1 2 3 5 molecules are there. Here also 5 molecules are there, but here only 2 molecules are there. The remaining are actually, they go downwards. So when you are adding both the volatile liquids, సో ఏ యాక్చువల్లీ ఫస్ట్ దానిలో పైన 5 ఉన్నాయి, తర్వాత బి కూడా 5 ఉన్నాయి, బట్ కలిపేసిన తర్వాత వచ్చేసరికి 2 ఉన్నాయి. అంటే ఇక్కడ వేపర్ ప్రెజర్స్ ఇక్కడ 5తోనే వస్తుంది అన్న. సో ఇక్కడ 2తోనే వస్తుంది, అంటే వేపర్ ప్రెజర్ డెఫినెట్లీ తగ్గిపోతుంది. సో ఆల్వేస్ ద ప్యూర్ వేపర్ ప్రెజర్ ఆఫ్ ఏ అండ్ ప్యూర్ వేపర్ ప్రెజర్ ఆఫ్ బి ఆల్వేస్ గ్రేటర్ దాన్ విత్ ద పార్షియల్ వేపర్ ప్రెజర్. సో అందుకే దీన్ని పార్షియల్ అంటాం మనం. సో ఇంకా క్లియర్ గా చెప్పాలంటే యూ కెన్ టేక్ ఇన్ అట్మాస్ఫియర్. సో అట్మాస్ఫియర్ లో మనకు O2, N2, CO, CO2 ఆల్ ద గ్యాసెస్ ఉంటాయి. ఎవ్రీ గ్యాస్, అన్ని గ్యాసెస్ ఉంటాయి నన్ను. సో సపరేట్ గా తీసుకుంటే దాన్ని ప్రెషర్ అంటాం నన్ను. సో ప్యూర్ అండ్ పార్షియల్. సో అందులో ఉన్నప్పుడు దాన్ని మెజర్ చేస్తే దాన్ని పార్షియల్ వేపర్ ప్రెషర్ అంటాం నన్ను. అందులో ఉన్నప్పుడు మెజర్ చేస్తే అంటే ఇప్పుడు O2 ఉంది, N2 ఉంది, CO ఉంది, CS2 ఉంది, అన్ని గ్యాసెస్ ఉన్నాయి నన్ను. అన్ని గ్యాసెస్ ఉన్నప్పుడు O2 ఎంత అని మెజర్ చేస్తే దాన్ని పార్షియల్ అంటాం నన్ను. సో ఎందుకంటే అందులో ఉన్న దాంట్లో మెజర్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇక్కడ ఏబి 2 ఉన్నాయి, అందులో ఏ ఎంత ఉంది అంటే పార్షియల్ అని. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ కేసులో ఓన్లీ ఏ మాత్రమే ఉంది, సో అక్కడ బి లేదు. సో అందుకే అది ప్యూర్ వేపర్ ప్రెజర్ నాన్న. సో యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్. సో ఐ విల్ టేక్ అగైన్ ఆల్ ద గ్యాసెస్ హియర్. ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ ఓన్లీ CO2 gas, so this is called the pure vapor pressure. But when you consider here CO2, O2, N2, CO, SO2, all these gases are there. So the pressure we are obtained here, which is the partial vapor pressure of CO2. Here again the partial pressure of O2. దీంతో N2 తో వచ్చేది partial vapor pressure of N2. Here the partial vapor pressure of CO. SO2 కూడా partial vapor pressure of SO2. But here we can directly say that it is a P0, that is a pure vapor pressure of CO2. ఇక్కడ PO2 కి ఇక్కడ CO2 కి డిఫరెన్స్ ఉంది ప్రెషర్ కి. ఇది ప్యూర్ నానా, ఇదేమో ప్యూర్ కాదు, ఇట్ ఈస్ మిక్స్డ్ విత్ అదర్ పార్షియల్ వేపర్ ప్రెషర్. సో ఇక్కడ అంటే CO2 లో చాలా ఎక్కువ మాలిక్యూల్స్ ఉంటాయి సర్ఫేస్ మీద, ఎందుకంటే ఓన్లీ అది ఒకటే ఉంది కాబట్టి. సో ఆల్వేస్ ప్యూర్ వేపర్ ప్రెషర్ విచ్ ఈస్ హయ్యర్ దాన్ ద పార్షియల్ వేపర్ ప్రెషర్. సో పార్షియల్ అంటే ఎప్పుడు కూడా అక్కడ CO2 తో పాటు ఇంకా మిగతాయి కూడా ఉన్నాయి అన్న. సో మిగతాయి కూడా ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి డెఫినెట్లీ ద వేపర్ ప్రెషర్ అనేది ఓన్లీ సర్ఫేస్ మీద డిపెండ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. సర్ఫేస్ మీద తక్కువ మాలిక్యూల్స్ ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి అన్ని కలిసినప్పుడు వేపర్ ప్రెషర్ ఎప్పుడు తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ప్యూర్ జనరలీ ద ప్రెషర్ విల్ బి వెరీ హై. సో యూ నీడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ దీస్ 2 things. సో వేపర్ ప్రెషర్ అంటే ఏంటి, ప్యూర్ అంటే ఏంటి, పార్షియల్ అంటే ఏంటి. సో పార్షియల్ అంటేనే మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది అందులోనే. సో పార్షియల్ అంటేనే సగమే ఉండాలి, అక్కడ పూర్తిగా అయితేనేమో ప్యూర్ అంటున్నాం. సో పార్షియల్ అంటున్నాం అంటే కొంచెమే ఉంది. కొంచెమే ఎందుకు ఉంది, సర్ఫేస్ మీద కొంచెం ఉంది, మిగతావన్నీ వేరే ఆక్యుపై చేసింది కాబట్టి. సో జనరలీ ఇట్ ఈస్ ప్యూర్ వేపర్ ప్రెషర్ అండ్ ద పార్షియల్ వేపర్ ప్రెషర్. సో నౌ యూ హ్యావ్ అండర్స్టూడ్ దాట్ what is vapor pressure and partial vapor pressure and pure vapor pressure. You have to understood these 3 terms and mole fraction. So these are